As we kick off this series, Summer Daze, it's going to be 4 weeks long. This is what I'm going to talk to you today about is finding God in the fun. How many likes to have a good time? I mean, what's a good time for you may be different for the person sitting beside you, but how many likes to go out and have a good time doing different things that God has created, that the opportunities that we have? We have friends, food, and full of joy. That's what I want to talk to us about, what it looks like to have friends, food, and fullness of joy. Summer is hopefully is going to bring you some joy this year. Maybe it hasn't in the past, or maybe you're going through something, and I hope this message encourages you to kind of let go of some of those things, to find the joy, to find the friends, and how many like some good food? Love some good food. Maybe it's days beside the pool or at the public pool or wherever you're at. Maybe it's at a riverbank or on a lake. It's barbecues. Anybody ready for some? Anybody started barbecuing yet? Yes, me too. I love it. It's so good. Barbecues, 4th of July, fireworks. You get together, watch fireworks. Road trips, family road trips where you take off and everybody's happy and joyful, and then you get 4 hours in and you're all ready to strangle each other already. Those are exciting times. Enjoy those moments. Embrace them. Or maybe it's floating down the river, or late night Sonic runs or Taco Bell runs. I used to do it in the past. I am not getting out past 9 o'clock unless it's desperate measures. So no late nights for me much anymore. But whatever it is, whatever you're doing this summer, I encourage you, and I hope that summer invites us to slow down. Slow down. Soak it all in. Laugh a little bit more than maybe you usually did in the serious times. And just slow down. I told my wife, we were able to go to, I had some friends yesterday, had a party by the lake, kind of a get-together, food trucks and some different things. And we went there and we're like, what do we do? We can't just sit down, like we got to move. I mean, we need to serve somebody. We need to go fix the food, check on something. And I told her, I was like, no. I said, that's the best part. You drive 2 hours away. You don't have to worry about nothing. There's moments where I told her, I was like, just slow down. Just sit in a chair and not do anything. This summer, take moments like that. Slow down. Sit in there. Look at the river. Put your feet in the water, whatever it looks like. And just slow down and enjoy what God has already blessed you with, what He's given you. I want to give you a theme verse for this message series. It comes from Psalm 16 and verse 11. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. Look at where God's taking you. I don't really believe that things happen necessarily by happen chance. I believe that God directs our paths. He's with us in the moments. He creates opportunities. We may have crossroads that we get to throughout our days. We get to choose those. But I believe that God is with us if we allow Him into that. So if we break this down, God doesn't just want us to have this list of rules. The Bible isn't just a list of do's and don'ts. He wants to give us joy in the moments, to create an opportunity to let us know that this is a privilege and an honor to serve God, to walk with Him, and that He's a friend. He's not just Lord in our lives, but He wants to walk with us day in and day out. Real joy is honestly found in the presence of God. And that doesn't mean that it just has to be right here or in a church building or this church. It's not about His presence just being in the church building. It's taking it from here and finding it in the moments, in the chaos, in the crazy, or whenever I turn my heart towards Him. I can feel God, and I know that He's there because He's not in the church, He's in me. He's in you. That means when you're talking to Him or listening for Him or just becoming aware that He's right here with you or right there with you, it means that He's there at that barbecue. He's on the ball field when you're sitting in the bleachers cheering on your kids or t-ball or baseball or soccer or whatever it looks like. He's in the crazy moments of the car rides with your family and your kids are still saying, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? How many more hours? How long is it going to be? Stop, I got to go to the bathroom. That's mine. Anybody ever experienced those moments? You guys that have those younger toddlers, kids, you're experiencing that now. Older folks, you've already been through some of those moments and you're like, yes, it's just a peaceful drive down the road. But enjoy, embrace those moments. Some of our favorite memories aren't because the food was perfect. Although how many like some really good food? And then how many times have you ever been to a barbecue and you're like, that is not good, but I can't say that. Right? Though sometimes there's nothing like a good, fresh smoked brisket or a pork tenderloin. Or you take that T-bone steak that's fresh and you put the seasoning on there and you throw it on the grill. You sear it medium rare. You enjoy that. It's not just about the food, but more often it's about the people that's around you. Whether it's family, whether it's friends. Maybe the hot dogs were burnt. Maybe the mosquito spray or the bug spray is not working today. And you get that anxiety and that like, well, what do I do? But when you think about it, the laughs are real. And the time spent with friends is priceless that can't be ever retrieved again. It's a memory from that moment forward. So embrace the moments that you are together with those that you are friends with. Last year, I'm going to tell on my friends. I didn't even tell on them or people that we enjoy spending time with. We were at 4th of July sitting in our little commune there around our house, and the family was all there, and we were watching fireworks go off, and the neighbors were across the street watching fireworks, and the other neighbors on the other side, and just sharing a moment, even though we may not have been sitting side by side. It was just sharing this experience together, and we watched fireworks go off, and the neighbors shoot their fireworks off. We watched them kind of back and forth, and all of a sudden there was this pause. And then there was this chaos, and then there was screaming and running and yelling and people running for their lives. And I'm like, what is going on? And I see the fireworks laying on the side, and they're shooting under their lawn chairs and against their coolers. And I was like, yeah, this is awesome for me. But I had to get in my side by side or run across the street, and I'm like, you guys okay? Anybody hurt or burnt? And all I hear is laughing and this chaos going on. But what could have been a tragic moment ended up being a funny moment and a memory that we can share. Because it was real. It was not planned. It was not performed, anything like that. It was just through the process of doing life. But it wasn't even about that event. It was about the connection that we had with those people that we do life with. Summer's full of those moments meant to be shared with others. And let me just tell you, if you are doing crazy things and fireworks and maybe you're floating down the river, be safe, or you're boating. Be smart, be safe. Don't take it for granted. Oh, God's got me. No, use your noggin that God gave you. Have a little common sense up there too. Whether it's pool days, spontaneous hangouts, or just simple evening walks with maybe friends. Even in all of those things, even in life, and we have all these different people maybe in our lives, or many of us can still feel isolated or even surface level in our friendships. Wouldn't it be great if our friendships could go deeper, be richer, more joyful, more real? In the book of John, we actually see where Jesus called his disciples friends. He wasn't just their Messiah. He wasn't just the Lord of Lords, the one that was coming to save all of humanity. He was a real human being experiencing real life situations and experiences and circumstances just as we do. And he wasn't just leading them, he was befriending them. He was walking with them day in and day out, the simple, the little things. If you look at John chapter 15 and verse 15, it says, "No longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing, but I have called you friends." Friends. That means we can share things, real life situations. He wasn't just this distant person that they worshiped and they walked beside, that they didn't know. They knew who Jesus was because he shared with them. He opened up to them. His disciples called him friends, or called him friend. He laughed, he walked, he wept. He got frustrated with them. And still, chose to love them regardless of their flaws. And Jesus, in this story and walking through the Bible, demonstrated 3 points or 3 important things when it comes to friendships. I want to share these with you and break this down just a little bit and hopefully give you some insight or some encouragement or some hope that we don't have to overcomplicate this. We overcomplicate life in so many ways, from religious settings to trying to be something that we're not, to social media. We're wired now completely different than it was in the past because of the technology that we have. And so we feel like we have to put on this big show of who we are or what we are, when it's really none of that. It's the simple moments spent together, not on Facebook, not in a certain setting or in front of people, but just the one-on-ones, the sitting on a riverbank, on a lawn chair, sharing conversation, or maybe at a breakfast table, drinking coffee. But the first thing that Jesus demonstrated was to keep it simple. Keep it simple. He didn't just preach sermons and tell them what to do, what not to do. Sometimes as preacher, I feel like that's what we do. It's like, well, you need to do this or you don't need to do that. You need to live better. And those are good things. And he did give us instruction and examples to live this life. But he also shared the simple moments of his life, walking through this journey of 33 years here on earth. He went to weddings. He took road trips. They didn't get in RVs. They walked a lot of places. He ate fish by the fire with friends. And that's where the friendships formed. It wasn't on a Sunday morning or the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus was preaching. That's not where the friendships were formed. In 10 minutes or 15 minutes of before service and after services, even in not just the Bridge Church, but any church, you can't build relationships in just those moments. It's going to take time. It's going to take putting yourself out there. Joy begins in sharing moments. Maybe it's at the pickleball court or the golf course or cookouts or the breakfast at Hickory House. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to have an agenda. It has to do with putting ourselves into that position. The house doesn't have to be clean. Laura, are you listening? If you don't know me, that's my wife. We've been married for 26 years, and if somebody comes over, we have to make sure that everything is perfect, right? Any other ladies? Get over it. It's okay. Nobody cares about your last night's dishes, I promise. If I come to your house, I'm not going to say, why didn't you wash those dishes before I came in here? I am disappointed in you. It's okay. Let it go. Slow down. Embrace the moments that you have and the opportunities. It doesn't even have to be planned. It's another one I have to explain to her. We can't just show up at their house. I'm like, why? Well, they're not expecting us. Well, that's okay. That's the fun in it. Just show up. See who's there. If they don't invite you in, we'll just stand outside and talk. Slow down and just notice who's around you. Who's around you? Enjoy the next time that who you're with instead of looking at what you need to get done. That might be your neighbor, the parents that you meet at the baseball field, sitting in the bleachers, maybe at the pool, the families at the soccer field, wherever it is. Look up from your phone and lay down your distractions. When we get to those places, and I'm guilty of this, and I've really been working at it, is it's easy for me to be in a public setting or a place where I could connect with people, but it's easier for me to take my phone and act like I'm really checking my email or busy and do that. And then I miss the opportunity that God's created and given to me to connect with someone else. That may be your next best friend sitting in that ball field. That may be the next person that you lead to Christ. And if I'm so busy with this consuming because I don't want to put myself out there, or I've used up all my words for the day, What have I really gained and what am I missing? Joy is often waiting in the simple things in life, just a simple conversation. And it doesn't have to be some big, deep all the time. It's simple things. Jesus didn't do ministry with an iPhone, I promise you. Even if he was here today, he wouldn't do it through an iPhone alone. He could use it as a tool, but that's not how you make that connection. How many knows that when you text somebody, context always goes out the door? When you look at a Facebook, you're seeing the highlight reel of their life. You're not seeing the rest of the story. Look at everything for what it is. Jesus didn't do ministry that way. He walked miles and miles with his friends. He was with them day in and day out. And let me just tell you, when you're in with people day in and day out, what's going to happen? You're going to get frustrated with each other. You're going to do something that annoys me, and I'm going to do something that annoys you. And that's okay. Real relationships begin with shared life. So just remember one thing. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Real joy doesn't stop with just being around people. It grows when we let them into our lives. Because it's one thing to share space with someone. It's another thing to share your story with somebody or them share your story with you. To find joy in friendship, just like Jesus. The second thing we must do is just keep it real. How many knows, let me rephrase that. How many likes to be around fake people? Can you feel it? It's like you can sense it. Like I'm trying to impress or trying to do something above and beyond. But when you really get to know somebody, you can really be you, and they can really be them, that's where the true friendships come in. That's where those relationships begin. Jesus let his friends into his story. Jesus had enough power because he was God robed in flesh. He didn't need to share it with anybody. He could have walked that path alone because he was God. But he didn't, because he shared as an example of what it looked like to be a real friend, to share the deep, dark hurts, the secrets, maybe the things that he was walking through, the pains. He shared those things. In this last series that we just did, we came out of, we encouraged asking for help with other people or things about how to handle anxiety and depression, things that we walk through that Jesus endured. And Jesus did that. He invited his friends to come pray with him, to walk with him, talk to him when it was hard, when he was ready to quit, when Jesus didn't know if he could actually follow through and do it. In Matthew 26:38, shared it last week, my soul is overwhelmed with sorrow. Jesus felt the pain, the hurt that you're feeling, that you're walking through. He wept, he prayed. He even got frustrated. He goes out and actually finds his disciples or his friends asleep and asks them in Matthew 26:40, he's like, really? You couldn't stay up for an hour to help me, watch over me, pray with me? You couldn't even for an hour? But he faced it with them. He didn't just live there. Even in his darkest moment, he didn't hide it. He wasn't fake. He was open and honest through his moments and still loving in that. And real friendship starts there where you're vulnerable and you're open and you're real. Everyone in this room, whether you would admit to it or not, all of us want to be known. But to really be known by somebody is going to require taking the mask off. It's going to require vulnerability. Being vulnerable is risky business. Because if I share something or you share something, am I going to be disappointed? Are you going to be disappointed? You might think, well, if I say that or I share this, that they won't really like me or they won't really know the real you because I hide things or I cover them up. The best friends that we have are the ones who know embarrassing stories or embarrassing moments about us and things that we've messed up, but they still show up. They're still there, even knowing that, man, you really goofed that one up. So I encourage you to keep it simple, keep it real, and let someone, not the filtered version of you, but the real version of you, to connect with someone. And that might be as simple as inviting someone over when there's laundry still piled up on the couch. That's at our house, if you wanted to know. We don't have a closet for our clothes. We use the couch and the laundry room. That was a jab. Let me soak that in a minute. But maybe he's sharing how you're really doing. Not just the saying, how you doing? I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good. Busy. Life's busy, but all's good. You're lying. You're lying. Stop lying. And now I'm not saying maybe, make sure you're in the right setting to do that, because when we get to that, that quick pass by, how you doing? Oh, everything's good. That ain't the moment to drag them over and maybe say, no, man, I'm really just going. It's okay. If you need to do that, do that. But create that time, that place. Set up a situation where you can have that conversation. Admitting when you're anxious, frustrated, or even feeling stuck in a situation. Opening up about prayer, or maybe having a moment where you pray for someone out loud, like with words. Do it. Try it. You will see how much further your friendships will deepen when we open up these areas in our lives. Have you ever felt alone in something? You ever looked at other people's friendships and seen how they do things and like, well, why don't I have that? What's wrong with me? What is it that keeps me from doing that? It starts, first of all, by finding out with what you have in common in others. You do things and you hang around with people that are doing the same thing that you are doing. That's how you make those connections. When you're at a t-ball field, those kids are all playing t-ball. Chances are the parents are enjoying that and doing that together. So make that connection. Make that friendship. Maybe it's a video game. I don't know what that connection is, but whatever you have in common with someone, maybe it's camping, maybe it's road trips, maybe it's going out to eat. Make those connections. Find those things in common. And then the next thing that you have to do is be yourself in those settings. The hardest thing for us to do in those moments, though, is you may be the one that has to go first. You may have to initiate that conversation. You might have to be the first one, because how many knows that when you're sitting there and you look around or you walk into a room and you see somebody? This happened yesterday. It was awesome, and I love it, kind of. And you walk in and you're like, okay, do you make eye contact with people? Or do you just kind of walk by, sit down, find a side in the corner, and then just kind of evaluate the situation before you go in? Right? How many times do you want to get up and put yourself out there? Hi, what's your name? I'm Rocky. And you make that introduction. Break the ice. Anybody like to break the ice? There's a few people. Those are your extroverts. You know who the introverts are? They're squirming inside, saying, oh, Lord, I can't do that. There's no way I'm going up to that person and talking to them. It's okay. Just keep it simple. Hey, is anybody sitting here? You mind if I sit here? Oh, you coming over to the cookout or to the bridge party or the block party? Simple conversations. Hey, how's the weather? That's always an icebreaker. The weather is a perfect icebreaker for everyone on planet Earth because it's something we all have in common. We can talk about the rain because it's raining outside. I hear it right now. And how many likes awkward? That's my favorite. So when you have those awkward moments when you walk up to somebody and it feels really stupid and dumb, and you're like, yep, that was awkward. And I'm like, yep, they felt it, I felt it. But that's okay. We're all awkward. We're all weird. It's all right. Break the ice. It requires you to do something. You got to put yourself out there. The first step can feel awkward. But joy begins with connection, and connection begins with courage. Courage. Even if you're that introvert, or you're new to church, or you're new to a ball team, you're unsure. God can use your step of faith to build something beautiful and lasting. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be the center of attention. You don't have to be flashy. You just have to be present and be yourself. It may be a little bit brave. It may take a little courage in the moment. That's where deep connections form. That's how it starts. That's one of the reasons we have connect groups, is because it's already set up for you to find friends. We do that here at the Bridge intentionally on purpose, not only to grow each other, but to hopefully get you out of your comfort zone, to put you in an awkward, weird position of something new that you can break the ice and learn to get to know somebody. They actually start next week. No, 2 weeks. Sign-ups are in the foyer. They scan that QR code. Look at a group maybe that fits for you. And you're like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's because there's people involved. That's okay. You are the ones I need to do that. You need to take that step. Keep it real. Keep it simple. Finally, I can think of no better day with Memorial Day tomorrow to remind us, all of us, that true friendship requires effort. Did you know that real friendships require effort? To be a friend like Jesus, there's going to be times that you, and this is the third thing, is to keep fighting for it. Keep fighting for that friendship. Maybe that person is leaving, or maybe they're walking away, or maybe they feel lonely, or they're hurt. But when we really look at it, real joy comes from relationships that are worth fighting for. Real friendships take effort. It means showing up when it's not convenient and not giving up when things get tough. How many here has got really good friends and you've been irritated with them before? But you still got their back. But you still fight for that relationship, even though there's frustrations there, and maybe there's underlying tensions that happen, and maybe there's moments where you got to clear the air and get everything back out in the open and kind of start over. That's okay. Those are worth fighting for. I want to tell you a little story about a soldier, and you may have heard of him. His name was Ross McGinnis. Ross was a 19-year-old, was out of the Army, or went into the Army, the U.S. Army, at 18 years old. 19 years old, was over in the Middle East, serving in Iraq with his unit. And they were patrolling, one day they were patrolling, as they had done many times, and taking on fire was a common thing. As I read this story and I listened to this story while on patrol, and this specific day or particular day, there was an enemy fighter threw a grenade. And Ross McGinnis was on the 50 cal up above the Humvee, and there was 4 other soldiers in that Humvee with him that day, riding with him. And he yells, "Grenade!" And he had 2 seconds, they said, to make a decision. He could have exited the vehicle, exited the Humvee, and everybody had like 2 seconds to exit. But instead, he threw his body on top of this grenade. At 19 years old, to make a decision based off of that moment, in that second, absorbing the entire full blast of this grenade, he gave his life, saving the other 4 soldiers in the Humvee. He gave his own life for his friends, for his comrades, for his soldiers, for his friends, for his buddies. In the moment, not thinking about it. Ross was awarded the Medal of Honor after his death in 2011. But I listened and watched the video on YouTube of where George Bush gave him that, and he quoted the scripture from John chapter 15 and 13. And I ask myself this question a lot of times: am I that kind of friend? Do I have that in me? But it says, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends." Tomorrow we celebrate Memorial Day for people just like Ross, who sacrificed everything. And when I say everything, that's your life. It was over at 19 years old. I can't even fathom. I actually cried about this multiple times, thinking about how many men and women have given their lives for this country, that we can do what we do today, that the luxuries that we have of life, we're able to walk and to live out. So I want to take this moment in honor of those that have sacrificed everything, those that have given their lives. You think it's okay if we just take a moment of silence? Let's do that. I think it's honorable to thank those that have given us this opportunity to find the fullness of joy, to find the friendships that we have and not take them for granted, the deep ones that we have, maybe just the common ones that we have. But whatever friendships that you have, whatever you're walking through, it takes time. Friendships take time. They take grace. They take willingness to lean in, to be there. That means sacrificing maybe time to go somewhere else, to keep it simple, to keep it real, and to keep fighting for them. Fight for friendships. Don't just give in and put yourself in isolation or loneliness that you may be feeling. It's a fight to get past that. And we all experience it. Each one of us experience those things. But that's why we have barbecues. That's why we have swimming pools that we can all get together and hang around. That's why they make campsites. That's why they do these things. Six Flags, baseball games, all of these things are done for entertainment, to build friendships and connections. Do it. Fight for it. Keep it simple. Keep it real. True friendship is sacrificial. It means I'm going to give up what I want to do to go have someone or do something with somebody else. You may never have to give up your life like so many soldiers have done in the past, that we can do this. But you may have to lay down your pride in order to make that true connection. Sometimes you may have to forgive your friend because they said something or they posted something out of frustration. We either fight for them or we flight. It's fight or flight. You may have to be the one that sends that awkward text or breaks the ice of a handshake or making it awkward for a moment. And these are just a few ways that we fight and keep fighting for our friendships. After Peter, one of Jesus' disciples, his closest friend, the Bible says, denied him 3 times. He denied him, denied knowing him. How do you think that made Jesus feel? If I was walking with you and we were best friends and they said, hey, do you know him? I'd be like, nope, don't know that guy. How would that make that guy feel, that person? He didn't ghost him. He didn't leave him. He didn't strike him down with lightning. You know what he did? He made him some food. He asked him some hard questions, and then he restored him. He didn't give Peter a giant lecture of like, how could you do that? How could you say that about me? Or go tell all of your other disciples that. Do you know what Peter did? He didn't hold it over his head as leverage. He simply gave him a mission, and he asked him this in John 21:17. He asked Peter, do you love me? Ask him this 3 times. Then feed my sheep. And stay on mission. Create friendships. Build relationship. That's the friendships that are worth fighting for, are worth restoring, are worth keeping up with. And that's what Jesus does for us as well. He meets us in our mess. And then he invites us into his purpose. He doesn't shame us for the past to make us feel dumb and inadequate. He actually calls us friend, just like that song says. He leaves the 91. He's after you. He'll kick down. He'll climb mountains. He'll do whatever it takes to reach you. That's what a friend does. That's the example of friendship in our lives. He gave his life not just for the people of this world as just human beings, as lost, but for individual relationships. When Jesus came and died, he did it so he could be in relationship. He could be your friend. The Bible says it's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. He sees all the stuff you've done, all the things you've walked through, yet he still says, come, walk with me. Walk with me. The Bible tells us in Romans chapter 10 that if you believe in your heart that God raised Jesus from the dead and confess with your mouth that he is Lord, it says you will be saved. That's where the friendship with God begins. That's where the relationship begins, with faith, with confession, with surrender, saying, I can't do this on my own. If that's you this morning and you've been trying to carry this, you've been doing this life all on your own, and you're ready to take maybe that first step, that awkward moment, and you want to begin a relationship with the one who gave everything to call you his, I want to invite you to pray with me. I want you to pray this prayer. I want you to pray it in your own words. If you don't know how to pray, you can pray it. Just say the words that I say. It's okay. It's keeping it simple. It's not complicated. Jesus just wants to walk with you. I want all of us just to say this morning. If you don't know Jesus and this is your first time, I encourage you. Say, Jesus, thank you for calling me a friend. Even when I've messed up, made mistakes, God, or even when I've walked away. Like Peter, I may have denied you in my own ways, but you've never denied me. You see my past, and still, you invite me into your purpose. Today I say yes. I believe that you died on the cross for my sins, that you rose again on the third day to give me a brand new life, to be able to call me a friend, to be in relationship with me. Forgive me. Forgive me, Lord, of any sin in my life. Restore me, Lord, from being far from you or never knowing you. Lead me into the life that you've called me to live. I ask you, Lord, right now to fill me with your Spirit. Fill me with the joy. And help me to walk in friendship with you every day, the best way that I know how. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thanks for listening to today's message. We pray that it strengthened, encouraged, and empowered you. We would love to connect with you, so if you have questions, need prayer, or simply want to let us know how this message has helped you, please send an email to info@thebridgechurchmo.org. To stay up to date with all the events at The Bridge, follow us on Facebook and Instagram.